We are back with another episode of the Max Coverage Podcast. I'm Kiefer Gazard. With me, as always, is Max from Max Coverage. And man, Week 18 was an absolute banger, all right? First Week 18 ever, okay? And it did not disappoint in any way.
Oh, yeah, man.
Listen, we talked about a prime matchup that had a lot of implications for the AFC playoff picture, which was the Colts coming into Jacksonville, taking on the Jaguars. Mm-hmm. And we talked about all these scenarios, and I remember at the end we were like, listen, we're talking about this, doesn't even matter because the Jaguars are going to get blown out.
Yeah.
But guess what, guys? A team with nothing to play for. We knew, these coaches are going to be gone. We're going to have a whole new system offensively, potentially defensively. We need to definitely straighten up some shit on special teams, that's for sure.
Just playing for pride.
And the Colts, on the opposite end, they're playing for everything this game. Like, they need a win to get in. Well, they could take a bunch of potential things to happen to get them in, even with a loss, but it was like one of those things where I was like, yeah, you need to win still. And the Jaguars absolutely stomped this team, dude.
It was so weird.
The Colts it's so weird in general with the Colts coming to Jacksonville because they've lost the last 5 straight, and we've had maybe one good team out of those 5 years. The 2017 team, I think, was thinking. Yeah, that's the only one.
One
so
year you
kind
made
of weird
the playoffs.
that they can't beat us in Jacksonville, but for some reason they can't. And Carson Wentz played horrible. Okay, I think if you're the Colts, you got to really evaluate your quarterback situation after that game because everything was on the line. He couldn't get it done. I will say this. So the Colts offensive line is one of the best in the league.
Yeah, they got
the Jaguars dominated them, dude. That was just insane.
7 sacks.
That's so crazy.
We had Saxonville make a reoccurrence. They
got
came
to see
from
a little flash of it.
They came from the dead and just rose back up, man. Saxonville was back for one day, man.
And here's the thing, it still wasn't even perfect for the Jaguars, right? Mistakes were made. Visca Chenault continues to drop the ball. There was a dude wide open, 3-yard touchdown catch that he could have just caught it, turned in, touchdown. Mm-hmm. Drops the ball. We end up kicking a field goal. It was absolutely embarrassing on his part. He had another drop later in the game.
With that drop, though, he was stretching out. He didn't need to do that.
He didn't need to do anything.
He
just needed to catch the freaking ball.
He was just freaking out. He was like, okay, hold on. This could be a big play. Hold on, let me make sure. Nope.
But it's not even, the thing is, it's not even that big of a play. It's it's a 3-yard catch. You're wide open. You literally take one step into the end zone.
Yeah.
So, Visca, to me...
He's done.
5th receiver to cuttable at this point. The one thing that was the biggest bright spot for me was Trevor freaking Lawrence, man.
Best game of his whole season.
Without a doubt. A great way to close it out. And I think that's great for Trevor's confidence going into next year. It's hey, I got to at least show a little bit of what I could do on that last game. And honestly, even me as a Jaguars Duval fan, it makes me feel a lot more confident seeing him play like that. So I'm super excited about the development that Trevor Lawrence could potentially have if we don't screw it up from here.
That back end zone throw to Marvin Jones, the touchdown was amazing.
Beautiful.
Right in the bucket.
And he's backpedaling at the same time, pressure in his face. Dude, that was beautiful. I was going crazy during this game.
I had to calm you down a little bit. You were over here about to stand on the table and stuff. I'm like, oh, hold on, buddy.
Dude, it was getting. I couldn't believe how well they played. It was where is this all year? But I know as a watcher of the NFL game, this was just an outlier. To me, this was just an outlier. This shouldn't save anybody's job. This shouldn't do anything except make you feel hopeful that maybe we have a little more talent on the roster than it looks like with the coaching staff that's in place.
And then Bevel, he got a permanent interview to be the permanent head coach after this game.
It is kind of funny how it happened after this game.
Yeah.
Exactly. That is kind of funny.
Because I didn't think it was going to happen
honestly,
at all.
even with that, I feel like it's a token interview. All right, you've been around here. So.
And the best part for the Jaguars about this game, they still kept the number 1 overall draft pick.
Because Detroit won. Just a couple more things. Damian Wilson had a lights-out game. He had an interception and a forced fumble on the game. I also felt that Andre Sisco and Daniel Thomas looked really good at safety, dude. It really made me question. And I've been kind of on Cullen's side all year, right? I've been this is the one guy on this coaching staff that I feel is kind of getting it right. But dude, after watching them two play, it makes me question some things on the defensive coaching staff as well.
Yeah, like what took you so long?
Exactly. Like
yeah.
The other Rashawn Jenkins and Wingard were better than these two. I mean, and maybe they are. Maybe they just had a good game. Carson Wentz played like ass. The offensive line, our offensive line and defensive line dominated their lines. Like we absolutely dominated in the trenches. Walker Little got the start. He looked great. Okay, so that's where I'm hopeful. And then, oh yes, can't forget to talk about this. Tyson Campbell. Dude, okay, so he's been playing better and better. Like, if I had to rank the players on the Jaguars that have progressed the most, he is by far number one when you look at where he started the year to where he finished the year. But there was a play that just made me like, oh my God, I love you, dude. Because, as we know, not all corners will tackle. Like, some of them kind of like turn their head away. Like, they don't want to do it. They feel they're cover people. So Jonathan Taylor was going on like either a stretch or a toss. I can't remember which one. But he came up and hit him for a tackle for loss, and he had no like hesitation, anything. Got him. I think he actually got him out of bounds. But regardless, the effort on that play by him was just phenomenal. I have to give him an A+ for that.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely looked like the best corner on the Jags the past 5 weeks now. I would say better than Griffin, better than. I don't know who the other ones are, honestly.
I mean, Shaq's been solid. Shaq has been really good. He's just quiet. He's just quiet. He doesn't get a lot of turnovers, and he drops the turnover opportunities that he has. Yeah. But, yeah, I'm with you. Like, I'm loving Tyson Campbell right now, the way that he's progressed. And we were just able to just really dominate them the whole game. I mean, we forced 3 fumbles from them. We got 2 of them.
You held Jonathan Taylor under 100 yards?
Yes, and when you hold him under 100 yards, there's a good chance you're going to win.
Yep.
Very good chance you're going to win. But with the Colts losing, that opened up
what happened?
So much shit for the AFC, all right?
And then it opened up
immaculate
idea.
Dude, my conspiracy, my speculation, what I think should have happened. That's the only thing that disappointed me on Sunday, and we'll get to that. But before we get to that, the next game that mattered, and they were watching our game. You know they were watching it live during their game, like, we got a chance. It was the Steelers and the Ravens. Both of these teams technically did have a chance. The Ravens would have also needed the Patriots to beat Miami, which did not happen. If the Patriots, if the Ravens won this game and Miami beat the Patriots, then the Colts still would have been in, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because I think the Ravens...
That was the scenario where they could still get in with a loss.
Yeah.
But the Pittsburgh-Baltimore game, it was a tight one. I didn't get to see too much of it. Huntley threw 2 picks in there, but they went to overtime. Steelers ended up getting it done. So Big Ben, who, like, we're all thinking this is his last game, he's still here. He's still alive.
He's still fighting.
He's fighting. He wants to go out on top.
Is this going to be a Ray Lewis kind of streak here now? Remember when Ray Lewis was about to retire, he basically said, I am retiring at the end of the season. And then the Ravens went on that, spree.
And they did it without him, actually, because he came back for the Super Bowl.
No, he was out for the playoff or for the last bit of the regular season, and he came back for the playoffs.
Okay,
he had a torn bicep.
Okay, I got it.
And then I was like, what the hell? This man came back like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Same with Jerome Bettis as well, because like that year when the Steelers won, everyone knew Jerome Bettis was going to be ratiring.
And Big Ben actually talked him into playing that last year because they had like the year before they were like 15-1, and they lost in the playoffs, and he was thinking about doing it then, but Ben was like, dude, one more year, bro.
Run it back.
One more.
Just get it one more time.
And so we'll see what happens. If you're asking me if I think they're going anywhere in the playoffs, no. But you're welcome, Steelers. You're welcome.
Yeah.
We did something for you. But once this game ended and the Steelers won, it wasn't over for them. They still had a chance to get knocked out. And this is the game that very much disappointed me. I'm very disappointed in both coaches' decisions. Just let's go ahead and talk about this right away. If they would have basically the Steelers get in as long as the Chargers and the Raiders do not tie, which was the Sunday night game.
Someone just win the game and they're in.
Yeah, exactly. They just need somebody to win. Now, as you all know, if you've been paying attention, I was a big advocate for if this scenario happens, it's a moral obligation of the Chargers and the Raiders to kneel this game out and both get in the playoffs. And you know what? Maybe some people are like, oh, that's lame. Who wants to do that? I agree with you. That's so lame, right? Why is it even fucking possible? It doesn't make any sense. If they would have done that shit, dude, the NFL ties would be gone. At least for week 18, at the bare minimum, ties would be of no existence. And so they played this game out anyways. And Aaron Rodgers talked about it on Pat McAfee too, because he was like, yeah, you know, like if somebody came up to me and told me to do that, like to kneel out the game for a tie, he was like, I would lose my mind. I agree with you, Aaron. I completely agree with you.
Just because that competitive, you know,
and I get that mindset. I 100% do. But if you want to make change, if you want to influence change, if you want to stop this from ever being a possibility, do it.
Yeah.
If you did it, because it doesn't work. This almost ended up being a tie. Okay, let's just say it right there. It almost ended up being a tie. And
at first, it didn't, because the Raiders were blowing them out the water. And then, you know, we were both watching it like separate. We were texting the whole time. And I'm like, this could happen. And then they come back. And then, dude, I think Herbert went 6 for 6 for like 106 yards and like 2 touchdowns on 4th down. Yeah. On the last, like,
I mean, the last
quarter.
2 drives. It was really the last 2 drives of the before overtime. I'm blanking. In the 4th quarter, like the last 2 drives of the game that sent them into overtime, he was lights out. But like I was saying and we'll get to that in a second. But like I was saying with the tie, if they would have done that, dude, it would never happen again. I'm telling you right now, it would never happen again. But if they would have unintentionally tied, it wouldn't have had the same effect. Like, because they didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah,
you know
I mean, they weren't playing for the tie.
No, definitely not.
I think when they hit overtime, I think that's when they kind
of there was one point where the Raiders basically said we did think about the tie. But like let's just get into what happened in the game. So the first half, I felt like the Chargers were kind of just starting off slow. It was tight going into halftime, but they started off kind of slow. I mean, I saw Keenan Allen have 1 or 2 drops, and
he was quiet.
They were just making mistakes, and the Chargers' run defense just continued to suck as they have all year, which was really like what killed them the most, honestly. But then the second half comes, all right, and Brandon Staley starts making some very questionable decisions. A lot of people point to what happened in overtime. This is what I point to more than anything. And granted, he has done this in the past this season, and it has worked out, but it's just not worth it to me. So it was like the 3rd quarter. I think it might have been the Chargers' first possession or second possession. They were at like their own 18-yard line.
Yeah.
And it was 4th and 1, and Staley went for it, and they didn't get it. Dude, I'm all about being aggressive, but it was a 3-point game at that point, mind you, okay? So it wasn't like they needed to go for it. Like, you could have punted the ball. Absolutely, you could have punted the ball.
And Staley's one of those coaches that he always goes for it on 4th down.
Yes,
he's very analytical. He's very analytical, because they threw the stat on the TV and they were saying
80% will make it.
if we don't make it, we're still it's not gonna really affect us, because they're so far pinned back, because like you said, they're on the 18, 20-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, dude, when they didn't get it, the Raiders are right in red zone territory.
Oh, you're talking about when they're on the opposite.
They're on their 18.
I'm thinking of another 4th down where they
not that one. Not that one. No, this one. I'm fine with that one. When you're on that side of the field, that's okay to me.
Yeah.
But dude, you're at your 18. You don't get this. I mean, they're guaranteed a field goal basically, and they're probably going to get a touchdown. They ended up not getting a touchdown. They kicked the field goal after that, and then they had a 6-point lead. And then. So then they kind of started to bury the Raiders. Kind of started to bury them a little bit. I think it was like 29-14 when the comeback started with Herbert. But you touched on it. Herbert and the Chargers, like, then they got to a point where they were like 100% had to be in. Like, we need every 4th down play.
They were fucking going hard.
They kept having the 4th down plays. That was the crazy part.
Yeah.
Like, they kept having them and they kept getting them.
Yeah.
And there was one play from Justin Herbert where I was just like,
blown away.
Wow. And it was that 4th and 21, dude.
Yeah.
And he throws the touchdown pass, and I was like, wow, dude, that's crazy. And if you look at his stats, like, they actually don't look that good. I mean, he threw the ball like 64 times. He was like 34 for like 64. But, dude, those last 2 drives before overtime, they were like lights out on the 4th downs especially. And there was one 4th down that they didn't get. But guess what? There was a penalty on the Raiders to keep the drive going. Like, it was like, it felt like destiny for them to score.
I was about to say.
It felt like destiny, dude.
It felt like destiny for the tie. Like, I was
it did.
This is blowing my mind.
And what was the most funny part about it is there was like Steelers fans in the stadium.
Yeah, the 2 Steelers fans.
And they kept showing them, bro. And you could just see how stressed they were. I literally read somebody's lips, like one of the Steelers fans, he literally said, somebody score! Like,
he was screaming.
And they also shot Justin Herbert on that, because basically, okay, so what happens in overtime? is I believe the Raiders got the ball first, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh, well, it doesn't matter. Raiders, Chargers, but one of them got the ball first. They scored a field goal. The other one scored a field goal again.
Yeah.
So they kept it even to get a third drive, and the Raiders had it, and they were kind of just running the ball but trying to get to field goal range, and
they were on like the 42-yard on their
right
over midfield on their like 42. So that was well like out of field goal range, and it was about like 50 seconds left or 38 seconds left.
They were closer than that. They were on the other side of the field. They were at like the 45 of the opponent, going like towards the end zone that they were scoring. And the clock was running. Staley called a timeout, and it was a third down. And honestly, people gave him so much heat for that. I don't even really point to the timeout more than anything. Like, the clock could have ran for like 4 more seconds. Mm-hmm. The thing is, he said he called the timeout to get the right personnel grouping.
Yeah, the grouping, yeah.
But listen, dude, this is what I have a problem with. Is like, okay, so it's third down. There's like, just like you said, there's like 50 seconds left. Like, you know they're going to run the ball here, dude. Like, because in the Raiders' mind... They kept running the ball. They kept running the ball. Yeah. And in the Raiders' mind also, like, dude, if I'm the Raiders, I don't want to take any chances right here because... Like, even if I punt this and pin them down, it's very unlikely that they're going to be able to bring it all the way back. You know what I'm saying? Like, for the Chargers to score and us to lose. Like, at that point, I'm playing super conservative because I know a tie gets me in. Mm-hmm. So, and they were playing conservative. But the thing is, with the Chargers, this is what I had a problem with the timeout. You call the timeout, and you don't sell out on the run. Like, to me, that's a situation like I'm doing engage 8 right there, dude. 1v1, man v man on every receiver, and everybody else is blitzing and we're stopping you.
Yeah, they were pushed back a little bit.
Yeah, they were running like a normal defense. I think they had like 1-person blitz on the play, which is ridiculous, dude. I mean, your run defense is ass. I'm literally turning to my players. I'm saying, listen, I don't give a shit if they throw a 50-yard touchdown. Don't let them run the ball. Yeah. Obviously, I don't want them to throw a 50-yard touchdown, but at least that gives us a chance. If you just let them run up here, like, that's annoying.
Just don't get them in field goal range.
Exactly.
Like, basically, like,
I mean, a touchdown field goal doesn't even matter at that point. Like, you just need them not to score. So I'm selling out on the run all day right there.
Yeah.
So that's where I had a problem with that. But the biggest thing to me was that going for it on 4th and 1 at your own 18, there's being aggressive and there's being stupidly aggressive. Mm-hmm. And that, to me, is stupidly aggressive.
So you think that cost them, probably that play cost them the game?
I mean,
in their long run.
I kind of do feel. I mean, we won't know because we don't know what would have happened if they punt. But just think about the scenario if they punt and the Raiders don't score right there.
Yeah.
Like, then you won the game. You didn't even have to go to overtime.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then, like, Carlson still had a hit. What was like a 48-yarder?
It was still a long field goal. But he got it. They won, wrapped it up, and then after the post game, we saw the Eckler and Max Crosby conversation where basically, like, Max was like, we were going to go for the tie. Like, but I don't 100% believe that. Like, I believe that they would be willing to take the tie, yes. Mm-hmm. But on that 3rd and 10, I don't think they would have kneeled it. Like, they would have still ran the ball.
They would have ran a play.
They would have done, like, almost the exact same thing they did. So, to me, the bigger problem is that you just couldn't stop the run at all.
Yeah.
And it was, like, that's a key moment where, like, I'm literally, like, dude, you have to sell out there. Like, I don't really understand any justification for being in a normal defense right there. Like, cover 0 all day, engage 8, whatever you want to call it, however you want to do it, man, three deep zone, doesn't matter, dude. Like, you just have to know the situation and know that, like, it really doesn't matter if they kick a field goal or a long touchdown. Like, regardless, if they score, we lose. Yeah. So, and we're not in the playoffs. So, anyways, Raiders end up getting the playoff berth there. AFC set just like that.
And I told you, like, on our last podcast, I was like, I picked the Raiders to win for that reason only, was the Chargers can't stop the fucking run.
I just thought Herbert would be enough to get it done, but he can't. And he, to me, he did what he could.
Yeah.
Like, he really did.
Yeah.
But it was just like you said, the defense sucking and being too aggressive on that 4th down play. To me, like, that's a huge critical moment. Mm-hmm. And also just for momentum purposes. Like, you can't get 1 yard. Like, damn. And you're at your own 18, so now they're, like, already in field goal range.
Well, Brandon Staley, you're a defensive mind, right? Get it better.
Get it together.
Yeah, do better next year because you're out, buddy. God.
And what was so disappointing for me on that game, too, is, like, not only did you not do the kneel down, but I would 100% rather have a Justin Herbert in the playoffs than the Raiders. Because to me, the Raiders, they don't even, like, we'll get into it in the playoff episode, but they have no chance.
And then I'd rather have Herbert than Big Ben.
Oh, yeah. Same. But let's go ahead and flip over to the NFC. The only thing that, to me, that was like the most important here were two games. The main one would be the 49ers and the Rams, because the 49ers needed to win to get in. And then the Saints and the Falcons. Excuse me. Both of these games were going on at the same time. Saints stepped up big, beat the Falcons. Taysom Hill got hurt in this game, and it's not good for him. He has Liz Frank.
He has two surgeries on the way.
He's gonna be out probably for the start of the next year.
Jesus, tough break, Taysom.
Tough break for them because they played so well to get into the playoffs, but the 49ers, man, they
squeaked.
They did it again.
By.
They squeaked by. Okay, first of all, let's just talk about the first half, because the first half looked like LA might run away with it. It was 17-3 at the half. And if you look at the play calling, what's funny is San Francisco was actually throwing the ball more in the first half than they did in the second half.
Yeah.
The second half, they started to run the ball a shit ton.
Well, they realized that's what usually wins them the game.
Yes, it does. And it did just that, all right? They got real creative with Debo. They put him in the backfield. They let him throw a pass. He threw a touchdown.
Yeah, man. He did everything. They had the stat, remember, on the TV. They were like, Debo, 6 carries, 36 yards, a touchdown. He has like 2 catches, 43 yards. And then on the very bottom, 1 passing touchdown. Like, this dude does it all, man. Great player.
Yeah, and it was a great play. He played hard as hell this game, and so did Elijah Mitchell.
Oh, yeah. He had a great game as well.
And then on the flip side, Stafford, man, he continues with the turnovers, dude. I mean, they're killer.
Yeah.
And and Ramsey also had a pick on Jimmy Garoppolo, and it was a beauty of a pick.
Yeah, a little tip drill.
He tipped it, and he kept staying with it, and he ended up with it. So good for him. But I am a little concerned about Matt Stafford heading into the playoffs, because, like, dude, why are you throwing so many interceptions, bro? You know, he's tied with Trevor Lawrence for the highest in the league. But with that, he also has his really good deep balls, and Cooper Kupp finished this game a Triple Crown winner.
Yes, he is.
That's the second receiver that Matt Stafford has had that has been a Triple Crown winner.
4th overall ever in the NFL history.
Yeah, and 2 of them came from Matt Stafford.
And he was this close to breaking Calvin Johnson's record, but didn't do it. Calvin Johnson, you're the man, bro, because like we said, you have an extra game, Cooper Kupp. This man, Calvin Johnson, did it in 16 games. Incredible. Incredible. Yes. And Stafford was the freaking quarterback for that guy. So
yeah, and Eric Armstead had himself a day as well, 2.5 sacks for San Fran. And, dude, that second half, they really just came out and dominated the Rams. The Rams only scored 1 touchdown after half.
Yeah.
And San Francisco just had that juice in the second half, man.
They were like, guys, if we lose this game, we're done.
Yeah.
Because they were scoreboard watching. They saw the Saints taking care of business, and
they knew, like, we have to win this game.
They turned up for sure.
So, and then Matt Stafford throws an interception at the end of the game.
Of course he does.
To finish it, wrap it up.
And that was like a weird, I feel like because they actually, the Rams had the Cardinals game up there as well, because they saw the Cardinals were losing.
Yes, they did.
And they were like, hold on. So we just clinched the division. We don't really need to win this game anymore. Stafford's like, fuck it, dude.
A pick.
Get this game over with.
Let's all go home.
Yeah.
We've won the division.
We're not going to play you next week either. So let's just, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like.
It did feel that way. But,
terrible ball.
Yeah, that's really all I have for the playoff picture. It's all set in stone. We'll get into the preview matchups on the next episode.
Yep.
Now let's get into the firings.
Juicy.
Black Monday. Okay. And let's go ahead and start with the Jaguars. Nobody got fired on Monday. And let me tell you, I was super happy. Sunday, I was super happy about what happened. Monday morning, I woke up super happy.
You were still sleeping. You woke up. You're like, checking your phone. You're like, okay, where's the news? Where's the news? Where's Balky? Where's
I checked it when I woke up,
You're
and
like,
then
what the fuck?
And then honestly,
What's going on?
I was working and I got off, and then I re-looked at my phone, and that's when I had the what the hell moment.
The double take. You're like, I know, the Bleacher Report. You had to click on it. You're like, hold on, am I missing this?
Right, exactly.
This has to happen,
I'm just
bro.
like, man, because the thing is, like, we've been talking about it like forever now, since there have been rumors that he would stay, and I feel like deep down in my heart, I felt like there was actually no chance. Like, I felt like for sure he would be gone. But he's not. And I think that Jaguars fans, we need to accept that Balky will be here. Like, let me tell you what's going to happen, okay? when they do this coaching search, and this is the only glimmer of hope we have for Balky being gone, is that Khan is hiring a head coach, and he's going to let that guy make the decision.
Yep.
Okay? But let me tell you right now, what I believe will happen. I don't know this will happen. I believe this will happen. Mm-hmm. I believe after the head coach gets hired, they're going to do this spiel. He's going to put out a statement eventually. And I think he'll do it right after they make the head coaching hire. And he's going to basically, they're going to ask him, like, what's up with Balky? And he's going to say, well, I gave the decision to the head coach, and the head coach decided to keep him on. But that's not going to be the truth.
Is he going to push it? Yeah, he's going to push it off to someone else.
Exactly. He's going to make it seem like, hey, we both, me and the head coach, were in agreement that we want Balky here. But that's not going to be the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I see happening. They're just going to mislead fans and pretend like the new guy coming in wanted Balky, which isn't going to be the case. And there's been a ton of people that they have brought in for interviews or scheduled interviews. I'll go ahead and go over the list. Daryl Bevel, they gave him an interview, as we spoke about, after they won the game. To me, that's like a token interview, like, you were here. I don't want to be a dick, so I'm going to let you interview for this job I know you'll never get.
Before you move on, guys, if you don't know, Daryl Bevel, I look just like the guy. So
I'm pretty sure he's your uncle.
I don't know if we're cousins or anything, but I'm happy that I'm getting an opportunity to lead this team to the promised land, because I promise you, Kiefer, we're not going to be clowns. We're going to be kings.
Listen, Daryl.
Give me a chance, man.
If you're here next year, buddy, I'm going to boo the shit out of you.
Oh, you got to be kidding me, man.
Listen, so that's our token interview. Let's go into the people that actually have a chance here.
Wow.
Todd Bowles has been scheduled for an interview.
You say balls? Or?
I did say balls. I'm sorry. Todd Bowles scheduled for an interview. Jim Caldwell already interviewed. Doug Peterson also already interviewed. We also have Matt Eufurflus. I'm pretty sure he does it this week. Nathaniel Hackett interviews on Friday. Byron Leftwich interviewed last Friday because they're basically trying to get it out of the way before they go into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then Kellen Moore, I think he might just be scheduled this week. I don't think we've interviewed him yet. Bill O'Brien scheduled for Friday. Dan Quinn just completely turned down.
He said, "Fuck off."
And,
I got too much stuff on my hands.
This is worth noting, okay? Other people have requested Dan Quinn, and I have not seen a report that said he turned down those interviews. So
that's true.
That is discouraging to me because that's like, yeah, I just want nothing to do with that situation. And that's embarrassing. I mean, let's be honest. And look, I mean, I've already given you guys who I want, okay? Listen, somebody that shoots to the top of this list immediately that we'll talk about next is Brian Flores. Out of that list, I didn't even talk about him. Like, I even included people that I thought could be surprise fires. I included Zimmer, and I was right there. I included Tomlin because everybody's been talking about Tomlin could potentially.
That's not going to happen.
Dude, and I said at that point, like, that is beyond stupid.
That's ridiculous.
Like, I mean, the guy ended up in the playoffs this year, which is just incredible.
One of the best coaches.
Yeah,
ever.
And funnily enough, he said he fell asleep during that.
I was about to. I was texting you. I'm like, I'm fucking tired, dude.
Yeah, it was long. And he was like, it's probably better that I did fall asleep because I would have been going crazy. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm a little disappointed in this list only because Josh McDaniels is not on it. And Brian Flores also, we haven't seen anything from the Jaguars requesting an interview from him.
Yeah, because the Bears came out.
Yep, the Bears have requested an interview for him. Yep. But listen, with Flores, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think there's a chance in hell Flores would have even come here with Balky. Because, and same with Doug Peterson, actually. I feel the same way about him. It's unlikely he'll want to come here with Balky because look at their previous situations, dude. Mm-hmm. I mean, him and Brian Flores got basically canned by Chris Greer, who was the GM before he got there.
Yeah, he's been there for 20-some years.
Right, Greer. Yeah, he's been there, not as the GM, but in different capacities, yes. And then same with Peterson, dude. I mean, just the whole thing with Howie just didn't work out.
Yeah.
The Eagles GM, and he got hired by him and he got thrown into like that situation. There are certain guys where it's like, and we know this, like head coaches in the NFL normally do not get more than 2 chances.
No.
Like if you fail a second time, you're pretty
start
much
from
done.
The ground up. You got to be an OC again. You got to or
even
DC.
Even if you do, you still don't get that option. Like I feel like I've never seen that. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I've never seen somebody have 3 head coaching stints.
Yeah, I mean,
unless they like walked away on their own, like they retired, and then they came back, they were a good coach. But like, you don't see somebody get fired 2 different times and then get a third opportunity. That literally like never happens.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so with those two, I think that they have like no chance of being here. I'm super disappointed that Josh McDaniels has not been called for, and I think now nobody's called him for an interview, which is insanity.
Supposedly he is interested in the Texans head coaching
Man, he said
spot.
he's interested in everything. Now he's just like, I think he's just putting his feelers out there because I read a report that said he was interested in the Jaguars.
He's like, don't forget about me, guys. I'm still around. Like, I can interview too, right?
My daughter's out of high school now.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, that was what he said was the reason that he didn't, like, he accepted the Indy job but changed his mind was because the Patriots sweetened his like regular salary and everything. And he said his daughter was in high school and she had been in New England for a while. He wanted her to finish high school. She's out of high school now.
Oh,
so that's
I
why
won't back out. Promise.
I mean,
give me one more chance.
Let me say something though. I'm assuming she's out of high school. I don't know that she's out of high school. Maybe she failed a bunch of times, but it's unlikely.
Maybe she dropped out.
Maybe. But all right. Let's just talk about Flores for a second.
Wow.
All right, that is just an absolute shocking fire. This is a guy that has had almost an even record. I think it's 24-25.
Yeah.
He swept the Patriots this year. He won 8 out of his last 9 games. His quarterback went down this year, okay? Makes no sense to fire this guy.
I don't really count his first year either because you remember last season, they went 10-6.
Yeah.
So back-to-back years, they won 19 games.
He's put together solid years.
You know what I'm saying? Both over 500, both seasons. Like
and in playoff contention right to the end.
Yes.
They were obviously not. They weren't in playoff contention for that last week. But, dude, he gave them the most chance that they could have had. I mean, they almost won out. So, I think that's absolutely insane. And I'll say this though. So, like, a lot of people are like pointing out the fact that he's black and being like, "Yo, like this might be like fucking racist shit." This is why I don't think it's that case. I think Miami's just stupid because Chris Greer is also black. So that's why like that doesn't really make much sense to me. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not gonna.
No, he's not black, is he?
Chris Greer is black, dude.
Oh.
I'm not gonna be like, yeah, this one black guy was being racist to another black guy. I don't think that that's the case there. I think that Miami's just stupid. And I think their owner just likes Chris because he's been around there for a while. You know what I'm saying? And what he said was that he believes that this talent has a lot of I'm sorry, I said that backwards. He believes that this team has a lot of talent, and that's why Chris didn't get canned.
Yeah.
But I strongly disagree with that. If you look at the decisions that Chris Greer has made, and this is also rumored, but it's not known for a fact. Mm-hmm. There are because they basically were like, we're a united front, but it's rumored that Flores actually wanted Herbert in that draft, and that everybody else in the building wanted Tua, and that's why it went that way. And also that Flores is the one that apparently has been leading the charge to try to get Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. So that is like another thing that I think probably strongly played into it because I bet they want Tua now after everything that happened.
Just too many people butting heads in there.
Yeah, too many people. Exactly. And that's why I believe.
Never worked.
Because we've already seen reports like Flores is going to be like a primed top candidate.
Yeah, they said he's
and
like
I believe that
number
the next,
one candidate right now.
I think the next job he'll get, he will be the head man. He will have that Urban Meyer final say.
The shit. Jeff Fisher call. Remember how Jeff Fisher was the
main dude?
The main guy, all the shot caller, everything.
It's funny how that's changed because it used to always be the GM. Yeah. And it's really swung to where it's normally the head coach now, which I agree with. Honestly, I do agree that like head coach is probably the main guy that you want to be in charge of the final decision making. And I only say that because like if it's a GM and it's like your coach actually doesn't want that player, then like it's gonna be hard for him to work with that guy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like he's already gonna know in the back of his mind, like I didn't actually believe in this dude and I wanted this guy. So I agree with that approach. Now let's go over which jobs are open, okay?
Yeah.
Let's start with the head coaching jobs. The Giants, their head coaching job is open, and that was a late fire.
Yeah.
It didn't happen on Black Monday. It happened on like Tuesday, I think.
And Dave Gettleman has retired.
Yeah.
He stepped down, and so they have a GM and a head coaching job available.
Yes, they do. I was going to get into
about
the GMs
time,
next,
thank
but
God.
Yes,
Jeez,
yes they do. And this is what I think actually happened.
Trash.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think that they went up to him and they were like, "Hey, listen, we like you as a person.
You just suck.
But we got to go in a different direction." And I think they gave him the opportunity to retire / resign. You know what I'm saying?
They went 19-46 under Gettleman.
Yeah, it was very bad, and tons of blown decisions. I mean,
terrible.
There was like this thing that came out, and it was like Gettleman spent a first round draft pick on Kadarius Toney and spent like $72 million on Kenny Galladay, and they didn't score a touchdown between both of them.
That's ridiculous.
So, and granted, I do think Toney's talented. Like, we've seen the flashes.
I think Galladay's talented too.
Yeah, it's really the quarterback to me. I mean, it's the quarterback in the offensive line and the play calling. I mean, they got eaten up alive for that third and 9 where they just like
the
QB sneaked it.
That was
like,
so funny.
What?
Dan Orlowski's like, amazing play call right here. Look at this. They're disguising in a QB sneak on 3rd and 9. All right, let's see what they do. Did they just run the QB sneak on 3rd and 9?
Just unbelievable, bro. Like, are you trying to win or not?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, definitely justified for both of those positions being open. Bears also.
Yep.
Head coaching jobs open and their GM spots open. So they're looking for a fresh rebuild. They already asked to interview Flores. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I kind of see that. I kind of see Flores going there.
I think Doug Peterson also got a scheduled interview.
Yeah. I could see that one, and then another one I could see Flores jumping all over, honestly. I could see him actually, now that I'm looking at it, I'd actually put this over the Bears, the Vikings. I think that is a solid spot for somebody to take over. Their defense has sucked, but they still have people. You know what I'm saying? They still have Harrison Smith. They still have blanking on his name, Griffin.
Everson Griffin?
Yeah.
Griffin, whatever.
Yeah. And he's a good player. He's still pretty young. He's not old.
Is he mentally there, though? Remember the videos that came out?
I know what
said
happened.
Someone's trying to kill him, and so I don't know.
Listen, we'll get him right. Then you also have the Broncos head coaching job open. We have the Dolphins now open, Jaguars, and they're putting the Raiders on here too.
Yeah, but I think
he's got a chance. Rich Bisaccia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I would assume, dude, you made the playoffs after all that Gruden crap happened.
I mean, they did kind of stumble their way into the playoffs, but yeah, there have been a lot of circumstances that are like, damn, how do you get through that?
Yeah.
Another person that has been like linked to that job very heavily is Jim Harbaugh.
Yes.
And funny enough, though, there's something I want to talk about with Miami too.
With Jim
Harbaugh. That's what they said. Okay, but let me just give you a little bit of background. So I'm blanking on the Dolphins owner's name, Steven. I think Steven Clark. Sure. I'm not sure, but their owner. So, did you actually read what he said, like about Jim Harbaugh? So what he said is, he basically, because he's from Michigan, like he went to college there, and he was like, no, we're not going for Jim Harbaugh, and this is what he said. He said, I'm not gonna be the guy that pulls Jim Harbaugh away from Michigan.
Stephen Ross,
that's his name, yeah. I knew his first name was Stephen. But yeah, he said, I'm not going to be the guy that pulls Jim Harbaugh away from Michigan. So this is kind of how I read that.
So he's kind of like, if he comes here...
To me, he's a super admirer. Yeah. He's a Michigan fan. He's watched what Jim Harbaugh's done over there, and he's like, I don't really want to touch that. Like, I want Michigan, like, that's my team.
Them to do well,
that's my team. But this is where I'll say, shit changes, okay? First of all, if you're Steven and you see that he's interviewing for the Raiders and shit, I mean, like, if he's going to get pulled away anyways.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Jim Harbaugh has an absolutely phenomenal NFL record.
Yep.
Like, his win-loss is phenomenal, dude.
Yep. And Harbaugh himself has called NFL execs. So he's reached out, like, himself. It's not just like some, like, oh, this could happen, report. Like,
no, he said he'll entertain it. That's what he said.
Yeah, he'll entertain the idea of him coming back to the NFL. So this could happen, guys. So,
and that's another reason I'm so disappointed with Balky, because we all know about him and his relationship and how it just deteriorated in San Francisco. So it's like the Jaguars will never call this guy in for an interview for two reasons. That, and also I think they'd be scared to grab a coach from the college rank.
Yep.
But
he's already established.
Stupid, right,
yeah.
That's stupid logic to me, because he's been in the NFL, he's done it, and he did a damn good job.
It's funny, though, because when we talked about, the Jags opening, you mentioned Harbaugh, and I was like,
yeah,
what?
I know. I was the guy to call that out before it was ever even, like, anybody had it. I just know he's a great coach, dude. Like, I've watched it in action, so I know that guy is amazing. And let me tell you something. If the Jaguars somehow did call him for an interview, and he got the job, and Balky stayed, that would be the one scenario where I would be okay with Baalke being there. And this is why. Because, dude, if Jim Harbaugh was willing, if he was ever willing to forgive Trent Baalke and work with him again, like if that guy could give Baalke a second chance, then you could sell me on giving him a second chance. But that is the absolute only sell where I would be okay with Baalke is if Jim was okay with it and he came here.
Those two did go to a Super Bowl together.
They did, but they completely hated each other, and that's the entire reason. Honestly, it's all Baalke's fault because he deteriorated the talent on that team, and
you just
destroyed what they built.
The Jags just need a very secure, like, you know, everyone on the same page. Like, no one button heads, no one causing drama, friction between the organization. They just need a solid foundation, man.
Right. And so just to recap a little bit, so we went over the head coaching jobs that are available now: Giants, Bears, Broncos, Vikings, Dolphins, Jaguars, Raiders, and then Bears, Giants, Vikings also have empty GM slots. There's also 2 positions that are open for OCs, which is the Lions and the Panthers. And the Panthers
reached out to Bill O'Brien.
Have called Billy O'Brien. So have the Jaguars. They have an interview scheduled with him on Friday. Honestly, dude, now listen, I like Billy O'Brien as a coach. I really do. I mean, if you look at his NFL record, it's actually pretty good. And really everything went wrong when he got personnel decisions. But here's what I don't like. I don't like the setup of him as head coach and Baalke as GM. I don't like that. I think that he needs a better GM than Baalke.
Yeah.
Because Baalke's going to do stupid shit. Dude.
And aren't they boys or aren't they cool?
I mean, that's the guy that he's pushing, and like Baalke's the reason they're interviewing Billy O'Brien. And I think that honestly, I think this is the most likely scenario. I think Bill O'Brien's going to be our head coach, and this is why, because Bill O'Brien really isn't in a position of power. Like he was the laughing stock of the NFL for like a year and a half. About the DeAndre Hopkins thing. Bill O'Brien is desperate to get back in the NFL. He took the Panthers OC interview, so like he's already an OC for Bama. He's willing to take the same position in the NFL.
Yeah.
Because he wants that shit. He wants to be an NFL head coach. He wants an opportunity to redeem himself because, in my opinion, he thinks that he can win, and he's kind of shown that he can, given the right circumstances and situation. I just don't think that's it in Jacksonville, honestly.
Yeah, and, like, the Jags are the only team that offered him a head coaching interview.
Yep,
right?
So far, they're the only ones that have reached out to him for a head coaching interview.
That's interesting.
And like I said, I think Bill O'Brien's desperate enough to take it. Like,
yeah,
I think that there's going to be a lot of people that, I mean, they've already had reports about people not wanting to work with Baalke. I think there's a lot of people that are going to get offered this job and turn it down. Or they won't get offered the job because in private conversation, they're going to say, well, I want my own GM.
They want to
I want to pick my GM. And that's going to be a problem, dude. That's why I am very nervous for the Jaguars because I just really think Khan is messing up big time.
It's also like, you know, GM wise, like, who are we gonna go out there and get? You know, like Ryan Pace, the guy that just got fired from the Bears. Or
I mean, you got to get a no name. You got to get somebody that's worked inside the organization for a while. Everybody speaks highly of him. He's picked out really good draft prospects that have ended up being good hits.
Do the Jags have anybody that steps out for you
internally?
Yeah,
hell no.
Exactly. So I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know who they would hire. I don't know who they hire.
To me, I want them to hire a head coach and then let that guy hire the GM. That's honestly what I would want more than anything, but pretty clear that's not going to happen. So, listen, let's get into the openings that are available. We'll specifically talk about head coaching openings, but we can factor in the fact that there is a GM or no GM and who that GM is or is not. Why don't we go ahead and rank these? What would you rank your like most appealing job to the job now, where you're like, I don't even want to fucking touch this one?
Most appealing would probably be it'd be the Raiders. I mean, if they don't give what's his name again? I keep forgetting.
Rich Bisaccia.
Bisaccia,
sure that's
yeah.
his name.
I always like say his last name wrong.
I know it's Rich. I say his last name wrong a lot.
I would say the Raiders, and then the Jags are number 2. Those are flip flop. I feel like the Jags are one of the best spots as well because you have plenty of freaking cap. You know, you live in Florida. That's always a big thing for, you know, people with families. They don't want to pay state taxes. So that's a huge thing. I would say Raiders and Jags are 1 and 2 for me. And then I would say Denver number 3. Vikings would probably be 4 just because they have the personnel, like you said. Like they have, Kirk Cousins is there. We don't know how, like, the new guy coming in, how he's going to like Kirk Cousins.
Right.
But they have great players everywhere else, like Thielen, Jefferson, Cook, Harrison Smith. Patrick Peterson. Yeah, Patrick Peterson. Yeah, Patrick Peterson. So, I mean, they got some pretty good players. I'm just not really sure about the cap room they have. Do you know if they have any?
I can look at it real quick, but I know it's not a ton.
Yeah, I don't think they have enough money to build a team. Like, if you're a new guy coming in, you want to build that roster. You want to make this your roster. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to inherit someone else's unless it's like a Super Bowl winning freaking roster. But you want to start putting your stamp on that roster yourself. So if you're a new guy coming in, you want to build it. I would say Jags would be the perfect spot for you. They have the quarterback, generational quarterback, like they said, coming out of the draft, Trevor Lawrence.
Minnesota's actually 30th in cap space.
Yeah, so they have no money.
Coming into next year, I looked up the next year rankings.
So they have no money. I mean, that's a huge deal. And I would how much money do the Raiders have?
The Raiders,
like, do they have enough to work with?
Yeah, they're 12th most cap space.
Okay, well, I mean, they have they have some draft picks as well.
$39 million.
That's still something to work with, you know what I'm saying? And they have some.
Minnesota is at negative 13.
Oh yeah, they have nothing.
they have to make some moves.
No one's gonna want to go there, dude. You know what I'm saying? And I think Raiders do have some draft capital as well because of all the moves that Gruden made while he was here. But I would say, and Vegas is a beautiful city. Never been, but I heard some good stories about it. So you're either going to live in Vegas, you live in Jacksonville,
Vegas
Florida.
is a beautiful city, but you're talking about living situations. I feel like living situations is a little different. Like for example, I would hate to live in New York. I would hate, and Vegas is going to be the same way. Like, I don't really want to live in Vegas because it's going to be crazy.
Well, what do you think? You think the Jags? I know you're not being biased right here. So
no, I'm not.
You think the Jags would be up there,
like a top
one?
So I really ding them for the GM situation, honestly.
Yeah,
like they're not the top job to me because of the GM situation. If I was going to rank these, which I don't think you actually finished, you didn't include the Giants, but I'm assuming they're last.
The Giants are dead last. I wouldn't want to go there. The Bears are probably going to be after the Vikings. You do have a young quarterback in Justin Fields that you can develop, hopefully. But it's going to be interesting because you play in the Packers-riddled division, so it's going to be tough to take them down unless Rodgers leaves, of course. But Vikings and Bears would be kind of tough, and you're starting from scratch as well. They both don't have a GM or a coach. And then I would put so I got Raiders, Jags, Denver, Vikings, Bears. Who's the other ones?
Broncos.
No, Denver's my number 3.
Giants and also Dolphins, Raiders.
I would put the Dolphins in front of the Vikings. So I'd put Dolphins 4, Vikings 5, Bears 6, Giants are dead last. They're trash. I would never go to New York. Hell no.
Okay.
What do you think?
So for me, I'm putting the Broncos 1. All right, because listen, like the Broncos are kind of like a little bit opposite of the Jaguars to me. Like their roster is very built, but they need a quarterback. That's like the one thing where to me it's like you need to fix that.
You're right.
And I think that the front office situation, those guys cannot draft quarterbacks. But
no.
Other than that, they do hit a lot. Like they hit on a lot of draft picks that aren't quarterbacks. So that's one thing where I'm not going to knock them for like the GM situation. I think that they have a pretty good front office over there. So I have to put them 1. Number 2, I'm going to put the Bears, actually.
Really?
Yes. I just think, listen, they do still have some talent on the defense. It's not what it was, but, I mean, you still have Khalil Mack. You still have
Robert Quinn.
Robert Quinn, who's coming off a phenomenal year. And then also the guy that I'm thinking of that I'm kind of blanking on his name, the linebacker is really good. He's
Roquan Smith.
Roquan Smith. He's very underrated.
Yeah.
That guy is really, really good, dude. Mm-hmm. And their offensive line is not good. But no. I also think, like, to me, I do think they have the quarterback of the future with Justin Fields. I know he's struggled a lot at times, but I feel like he was in a very Trevor Lawrence type of situation with the coaching. Like, Matt Nagy didn't know what the hell he was doing, dude.
And that's another good thing coming into somewhere. You got a quarterback already. You don't have to worry about drafting one. Yeah.
And obviously you have to believe in that quarterback to want to go there, right? Like you're not going to want to go there if you don't believe in him. But I think that most people are going to believe in Justin Fields' talent. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're asking me, would I rather have Justin Fields or anybody from this draft? It's Justin Fields without a doubt.
For sure.
And it's not even
this
close.
year, for sure, yeah.
So that's why I'll put them there. Next, I will slide the Jaguars in there at 3. I will. I still think that because Trevor Lawrence is here, and you touched on it because of the cap space,
draft
I think
capital.
I mean, we have normal draft capital.
Well, I'm
now.
saying you got the number 1 draft pick.
Well,
so
yeah, but I'm in a trash draft.
I know.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, just the situation itself, it is winnable. Like, if you can get the final say as the head coach, if you're like, listen, fine, we'll keep Balky, but I'm the guy the decisions run through.
Yeah.
If it's that kind of thing, I think maybe you have a chance at getting somebody. And hopefully, listen, I'm still holding out hope that, like, they actually stay true, hire a head coach, and be like, hey, it's your call, and then he fires him. I'm still hopeful for that. I know it's unlikely, but...
You walk in and be like, all right, then he's done. Get him out.
Yeah,
Clean his desk out.
I'm still very much hopeful for that. Next, after that, I'm going to go with the Vikings. I just think that they have talent. And I even think Kirk Cousins is solid. Like, Kirk Cousins isn't amazing. But, like, he's serviceable. You can get to the playoffs with Kirk Cousins.
But and if can you win in the playoffs?
If your team's good enough, I think it's possible. Like, if you put Kirk Cousins on the Bucs last year, you don't think they could make a run with that team?
They could, but I don't think they would have made it as, like, Super Bowl winning champions because... This Kirk Cousins. He makes dumb mistakes. Like, he does what,
Matt Stafford does.
Matt Stafford, exactly. He just makes dumb mistakes, and Brady doesn't do that, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know. I don't think they would have won the Super Bowl. I definitely don't think they would have won in Green Bay if Kirk Cousins was the quarterback.
I kind of agree with you there. That would have been hard.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I believe in Kirk Cousins enough to the point where, like I think that job is still very serviceable. Because at the end of the day, dude, like, you could try it out. If you don't like it, you can actually get something for Kirk Cousins. Like, I do believe Kirk Cousins, you could trade and get at least a fourth. Yeah, at least a fourth. I'd say third, fourth sounds about right. Somewhere between third and fifth. Mm-hmm. So I just think that they have a little bit of leverage there. Obviously, the cap situation sucks, but we all know what they do with those books, man. They just start moving money around to get it under.
Yeah, Spence is in the chat. He said you're tripping. Kirk ain't making it to a conference championship.
I mean, not with the team that you're on. I'm just saying if you put him if you put him on the Rams with, like, if Robert Woods was still healthy, like, I think they would have a chance, honestly.
Yeah.
And you need a dominant running back too, because, like, you're gonna want that to be, like, your main game. But listen, I mean, like, the Browns, to me, had a chance last year with Baker. So I'm not going to be like they wouldn't have a chance. No team could have a chance with Kirk Cousins. I think it's possible. It's just unlikely that you can get that kind of star power with that guy as your quarterback. But I do think this is still, it's a job where you can turn it around. They have a good culture there. Like, they don't have a losing culture or anything. They normally do end up with winning records.
Yeah.
And Mike Zimmer's brought them to the playoffs 3 times. So they're used to winning. Like, they know what that feels like. I mean, shit, bro. They almost made it to the Super Bowl with Case Keenum.
Yeah,
so
true.
I'm not going to say that it's impossible for Kirk Cousins to be on a team and make it to the Super Bowl.
That's interesting, though, because they almost made it to the Super Bowl with Case Keenum, but then Kirk Cousins came along and...
I mean, that's true. That's true. But they've lost a little star power since then. So
they
that's
don't have
part
Diggs
of it.
anymore.
Exactly.
They have a lot of people.
Exactly. And then the next one, now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. I guess I'm going to go Raiders next.
Damn, you put them so far down.
I'm not. I don't think their roster's that talented, honestly. I think they've lost a lot of talent because of stupid shit. One, like people swinging guns around, people going 120 on 180 on a regular road, not the highway, drunk as shit.
Yeah.
So listen, and honestly, another thing that I'm actually going to weigh into this is the fact that you are in Vegas. Because I do think they're going to run into issues with that. Like, people are going to get in trouble more because they live in Vegas, and it's going to be a headache a little bit.
I will say this: they have a great pass rush.
I was just about to say the reason that I have them where they are, like the reason they're not lower than the Dolphins, honestly, is because of their offensive line and their defensive line.
Yeah.
Their offensive line was way better last year, but they still put together a solid offensive line after having to drop like 4 starters?
Yeah, and then Leatherwood, the guy that they reached on.
He's been okay.
He's not been bad.
He's a starter.
Yeah.
The whole time, and he's been fine. Like, he hasn't been, like, noticeably bad.
Like Slater.
So, exactly what
Slater's
you said.
Slater's a freaking all-pro.
Yeah, he hasn't been no Slater, but he's been solid. And just like you said, man, that defense, specifically those edge rushers,
dude,
they have godly edge rushers. And their defense, I'll give it to them, they are getting a lot better. Like, even the secondary has gotten a lot better.
At the right time.
Yeah, so that's why I'm putting them there. The Dolphins, you could make an argument that the Dolphins, for me at least, I could make an argument the Dolphins over the Raiders, but I'm going to put them 1 under because of the GM situation, honestly. Mm-hmm. Because what happened with Flores? Yeah. What happened with Flores, dude? I mean, if I'm somebody interviewing for this job, I'm like, bro, like, so you want me to do better than that guy? Because if I don't do better than that guy, you're going to fire me?
Yeah.
I mean, like, that guy did pretty good for the short period that he was here.
And now you have to think about Tua. This is his 3rd coach, right? Since he's been with Miami. His 3rd offensive mind, like now you have to learn another playbook coming in with another guy. Like, it's just like, you don't do that with a young quarterback, especially if you believe in him, So it just sucks for him as like a player. I hate it for him. That sucks.
Yeah, I agree. And then, last but not least, the Giants.
Yeah, we don't have to say anything.
This roster is just absolute crap.
Now, I mean, Bill O'Brien can easily get that job. Just
granted, they do have extra draft picks. They have 2, and I believe both of them are in the top 10, if I'm not mistaken.
I know the Jets have 2 top 10s.
No, the Giants definitely have 2 top. They definitely have 2 draft picks. Not 100% sure if they're both in. I think they are because the other one's the Bears.
Yeah, let me check real quick.
But yeah, that's where I'm ranking that at for me.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel bad whoever does go to the Jets or the Giants. I meant. So yeah, you're right. The Giants have number 5 and number 7 coming in. So, yeah, dude, both the New York teams have 2 top 10 picks.
I know. Philly has.
Golly.
Philly almost had 2 top 10 picks and 3 picks in the top 15.
Dude, that's awesome.
That would have been wild.
That's awesome for them.
They're looking strong.
After that whole trade with Wentz, it looks like they won the trade.
Yes,
I mean, they made the playoffs after 4-11-1 season last season. Nick Sirianni came in there, and now they're loaded with draft picks. Sheesh. Fun time to be a Eagles fan right now. Fun times.
Yes, it is. And one other last team that I want to touch on for head coaches that this doesn't even make any sense. I'm assuming he's not getting fired because, like, what's today? Wednesday, and he hasn't been.
Yeah.
But David Culley, man. Like,
yeah, I was about to.
They put out a report on Monday that they're not going to rush the decision for him. And honestly, I don't understand.
Won 4 games.
I don't understand why there's a decision to be made. Like, what did you think he was going to do with this fuck-ass roster?
Yeah. And, like, he developed Davis Mills, like you touched on.
Yeah, exactly. Davis Mills has developed, like,
astronomically
from his first start to his last start.
Jesus.
It's crazy. I mean, honestly, if I had to pick a quarterback that showed the most development, it probably would be Davis Mills.
Oh, yeah.
Just because of where he started and where he finished.
Well, you remember when he first played, I was like, I'd never seen a quarterback play this fucking terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy
But
stunk.
by the end, he looked like, I'm not going to say he looked good, but he looked like a serviceable quarterback. So, I mean, that's pretty crazy, honestly. So, those are my head coaching
Yeah, I mean,
talks.
well, it's going to be interesting. Right now, so we only have, like, a couple for real openings, which is kind of surprising. I thought we were going to see more.
I mean, I thought that was about right. I mean, who else did you think?
I mean, of course, Dan Campbell's going to be fine. He's going to be.
I think Dan Campbell did a phenomenal job, to be honest.
Robert Saleh did okay, too.
Yeah.
They won 4 games as well. So, yeah, I guess you're right, But we'll see as it goes on. But it's Wednesday, guys. And playoffs start in about 3 days.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Tune in for the playoff episode.
Yeah.
One last thing that I want to touch on before we get out of here.
What's up, man?
Boomer. Dropping that report about Aaron Rodgers that Aaron will boycott the Super Bowl over the COVID rules. First of all, Aaron's already come out and talked about how stupid he actually had a little fun with it, and he was like, Jordan Love, be ready on Twitter and shit, joking around with it. But he went on Pat McAfee, talked about how stupid it was. I agree with him, and listen, I'm calling out Boomer on this one because, dude, you're an idiot for saying that, all right? Like, I don't give a shit who told you that. I would literally look at them and I'd be like, yeah, I know this isn't true.
Who the fuck would do that?
I know, like, I just know this isn't true. Like, it probably came from some stupid source.
It came from his buddy. You know,
he didn't really say.
I know, but I'm saying like, remember he passed it along to his co-host, or I don't know his name either. He's like, "You want me to read it? Yeah, go ahead, read it. Yeah, read it."
You know what I feel like actually happened? He got off the show, and whoever told him that was like, "Dude, I was just joking."
Why the fuck did you read that? You read the wrong text. Yeah,
just insanity, man.
Yeah, Rodgers would never boycott a Super Bowl.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, it kind of annoys me at this point how much people just like fucking with Aaron. Like,
I bet that's why he's pissed all the fucking time, man.
Dude, like, people just want his downfall so bad at this point. It's ridiculous, man. And he's done a great job this year. He really has.
And you know what's going to be funny? Because I know that just lit another fucking fire in his ass.
It did.
And, you know, we had the bye week this week, so he's going to come out. He's going to be like, I'm winning this fucking Super Bowl this year. I'm just scared he's going to be like, I won. I'm out. Peace. But
yeah, we can get more into that topic once the season's over. I do have some thoughts on it. But secret word of the day is max coverage.
Yeah, I mean, thank you guys for watching. We had a solid 4 viewers.
Wow. Thank you for watching. Listen,
nice.
For you 4 viewers, I'm actually doing something you don't even know about yet because I got to completely figure it out. But we are going to run a promotion sponsored by me.
Oh, really?
If anybody can DM us the secret word of the day for the entire season, I'll buy you a jersey of your choice.
Oh,
but you got to hit on all of them.
I like
every
that.
single one. If you miss one, because I'm going to go back and actually find all these. See, I know where I put them most of the time, so I'm going to go back and find all of them. And if you're correct, if you have all the secret words of the day,
I'll pay for half.
We will get you a free jersey of your choice. Doesn't have to be Jaguars, whatever you want, whoever.
And the most secret word will be the Super Bowl episode.
Yes.
Because if you miss that one, I don't know what you've been doing that day. Because Super Bowl week, we're going hard.
Yeah, it's going to be an electric week. I'm so excited to see how these dominoes fall in the offseason. As we know, Jaguars fans, we live in the offseason. This is where we shine.
And I haven't said this in a while, but I'm doing it because Spence shouted out. Hey, man, you know what we are? It's max coverage in the building. So I just wanted to say that. And we got the...
It is. Max coverage is in the building.
But, yeah, man, I mean, hey, congratulations, Kiefer. We made it to the playoffs.
Yes, we did. Very,
on point. We didn't miss a beat, man, and I'm proud of us.
Yes, me too. And pretty soon you're gonna get our award show. We did a mid-season award show. We're gonna do an actual award show.
Yes, we are, and we're gonna go back, re-listen to it, and see where we went wrong, because I know we're gonna be wrong on a couple things. But yeah, it's gonna be great, man. And I was almost right with the Saints. I remember picking them for my my sleeper.
So close.
Sneak in there, but maybe next year, Saints fans. Maybe next year, huh?
Yeah.
Well.
All right, everybody. Well, we are out of here. You'll hear from us Friday. Have a good night.
Peace.